I hate you. We gotta pause. Look, man, we have ever laughed so hard on the podcast. All right, hey, welcome once again to the Dire Past Level podcast. It's your boy Ray, back from a 2-week family vacation, back in business here with our boy. He is a newly dubbed Street Fighter 2 sensei, and as you know, he grew up in the woods, everybody. Say hello to TDK.
What's up, guys? Good to be back. Welcome back, Ray. We missed you. It was lonely out here in the woods. The sensei thing's going well. My kid is pure Hadouken all the time, whether we're playing the game or not.
I have to be your sensei.
Oh, sensei to the sensei.
To sensei your kid, right? I'm glad he's learned how to shoot fireballs.
I got a down forward punch all day. I don't want to reveal how much I don't know about Street Fighter 2, but I feel like, there's the two punches. Like there's like the regular punch and there's like an upper. And if you down forward upper, I feel like your energy ball goes a little faster.
There's jab, there's strong, and there's fierce. And depending on which of the three punches you press dictates the speed of your fireball. So a jab fireball is slow, a medium fireball is medium speed, and a fierce fireball is fast.
I'm 33.3% of the way there. However, sometimes you fireball and you set them on fire.
Well, which version of Street Fighter do you have?
Street Fighter 2 Super Nintendo.
Okay, so if it's the original Street Fighter 2, it's random. But there is a version of Street Fighter, I forget which iteration starts it, but if you go back down forward punch, it's a red fireball.
Man, we are really getting in the weeds early on here. So you got the down forward punch, Hadouken, right? But then you got the Shoryuken where you like jump up, right? And you uppercut and into a jump. And occasionally that will set my opponent on fire. Okay. Again, nothing I know that I'm doing. And that's just like a forward punch.
That one, my friend, depends on the character you're running, which Shotokan expert you're using. If it's Ryu has mastered the fireball. Ken has mastered the dragon punch. So if you're using Ken and you do a fierce punch dragon punch, you will set your opponent on fire.
I'm mostly playing Ken these days.
I would love to get our guest involved in this. Just hit the ground running. So today's guest is a television writer, father, homie, and most importantly, a fellow gamer. He's also the first person I pitched the Doppel podcast idea to. He didn't believe in it, and now he's lost out on billions of dollars. Here he is crawling back as a guest on the show. Say hello, everybody, to my good friend, Matt Ross.
Hi, everyone.
What's up, Matt? Thanks for coming on, dude.
Of doubting you. I'm glad that I could be here to have my nose rubbed in it.
How about we go with a little bit of a what are you playing? Matt, you want to hit us first with what are you playing these days? What's on the docket?
Oh, man. I actually have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. Because we were talking...
Matt and I are going to be friends. Yeah. When I came on this podcast for the first time, Matt, I purely came on to pick a bone. That's what
all
I was
want
doing.
to do really is air out my grievances with Ray.
Do it.
A lot of this might not strictly be video game related. I'll try to sort of where I
parenting.
Just passive aggression in general.
I'm curious what your reaction was to Ray's first pitch of the podcast. I'm curious how that pitch went.
I mean, I thought it was a great idea, and I thought this is going to be super time consuming. And it seems like he's up for it. And then he has proven to be up for it because every time I talk to him, he's like, man, this editing grind. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. But the content coming out is great. The social stuff is great. The branding stuff is great. I mean, it seems pretty awesome. I feel like I'm missing out in a big way, but I also feel like I would only be dragging you down. So it's nice to just wave from the sidelines.
I've been trying to get Matt on the pod for a minute, so I'm glad you're finally here. But go ahead, pick your bone with me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking about the emulator life, of the old systems. And then you put me up on Vim's layer. So I went to it. That night, I was like, what is this, just every game ever? And you texted me like, yeah. And I was like, you know what I got to do now is get a controller. And you were like, no, man, your PS5 controller just pairs with it. And I just didn't know any of this. So for the last, 3 days, I've just been crushing Mario Golf. Just down here in my office. I'm not going to name the place in case they happen to hear, but I was literally on a Zoom getting notes on a project while playing Mario Golf and half listening. And I realized it was a one-to-one sense memory of my mom telling me something while playing literally the same video game. I'd just be like, yeah, totally. Yeah, I got to rewrite that. Yeah, I'm going to do it right on. It's like trying to get baby Mario to hit a perfect shot.
Taking the trash out. I got it. Be right out.
I'll get to it. I said I'll do it. I said I'll do the rewrite.
I love
do you ever
that.
slip in with a quiet celebration about a birdie you hit?
Oh, and they're like, do you not agree with that? I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool.
gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, or the other way. Totally. That's probably more
cool,
likely.
You're like kind of a combative artist. Like that's a good vibe. Like mercurial, you know?
They like that. Got it.
Accidentally getting the job interview because you're playing Mario Golf on the Zoom call.
You're just in a flow state with your creativity while not playing attention.
TDK, are you playing anything?
I haven't been playing as much because my son has been full BMX. He's 5. Maybe we could put a video on socials or something, but he's like full getting air, jumping, 2 wheels. He's doing his thing. We're pretty much just watching the movie Rad on repeat over and over and over and over. So I started going through the box in the garage and I started pulling out things that were more motorcycle and or bike specific. So I got out Excite Bike, which I remember being way more exciting than it was, but it was cool. It held his interest for like a couple rounds, but then I got out Paperboy, which holds my interest. That
was one of my earliest video game memories for sure. I remember the Christmas we got Paperboy and I got a pink and gray Polaroid camera and I felt like a king. It was the greatest.
The best. Did you have Paperboy 1 or Paperboy 2?
The first one, OG, man.
I have both, and I didn't realize, I think all of my goodwill and my happy Paperboy memories are actually number 2. The throwing the paper at the haunted house and breaking a window and a ghost comes out. There's a jacked up car and you hit the jack and the car falls off it. There's a guy robbing the gas station and you can throw the paper and you can like hit the robber. That's all 2.
You hit me with a puddle, that's about all the action I can handle.
Got it. It's a barking dog coming at you.
Yeah, exactly.
So we did a little Paperboy, we did a little Excite Bike, but we did mostly real world biking.
Just to go back a little bit, I did some research and Excite Bike was originally going to be called Bike, but it just didn't didn't do much for the audience, you know.
They're like, we know it's not exciting, but what if we just throw Excite ahead of Bike?
Speaking of exciting, maybe too exciting, not my favorite kind of way, is I decided to get Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem on my Nintendo Switch because the brand newest Resident Evil on the Nintendo Switch is like this miracle of a port because it has no business looking and feeling as good as it does on the console. Dude, that game is terrifying.
Is that like coming out around corners and stuff?
Jump scares, gross and grisly things coming at you.
Are you a scary game guy in general? Like,
you know what?
No way.
I don't think so. I think I used to be, but it's been a long time and I'm clearly rusty at like having that kind of fortitude. I've audibly shrieked at least once so far to the point where Kim, my wife, was like, dude.
We did an episode of the pod around Halloween sometime. I think it was like a scariest moments in games, scariest games we've played. And no joke, Ray, you're going to have to remind me what you said, but you said a game and it might as well have been Mario Tennis. It was like that level of game. And I was like, this is scary?
No. Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin. The undersea creatures of the world are terrifying. What can I say, man?
I remember going over to a friend's house to play Echo the Dolphin because we were a Nintendo house, not a Sega house. But for whatever reason, my impression of the game was that it was just this one board that you just kind of swam back and forth on because whatever I did, it like didn't engage the next stage. And I was just like, this is just like a swimming simulator where you just like sit in this pool. This is the worst game I've ever played. And then I think I was listening to this very podcast and I was like, oh, there's like a whole game that comes out of that. But I still don't know what I did wrong. I was just chilling there and like,
you're not wrong. The game kind of starts you off in this almost pool. They don't give you any clues on what to do, but you can swim down and then come back up and you're supposed to go over this little cliff. And then that's where the world opens up. But the game doesn't really clue you in on that.
I was a Sega kid. I didn't have a lot of Nintendo stuff. But I think now that you're saying this out loud, I also just played that first little section of Echo the Dolphin. But the joke's on us because we couldn't even get past the first little like...
We were in a prison of our own mind, which is maybe the scariest thing there is.
100%.
The true psychological horror.
Ray, how scary is this new game you're playing?
I think it feels like the scariest game I've ever played. There's always something coming for you, and it's always way bigger than you. Initially, there was something called The Girl. And
greatest fear, right? The Girl.
It's cool in this way that you're in a hotel. Staff or the zombies still maintain some characteristics of the people they were. There's like the maid say you want to distract the maid, you can kill a zombie over here and cause a puddle of blood that the maid will be obsessed with cleaning to distract it. There's another like bellman guy that needs the lights on at all times. And so if you need him to go somewhere else, you go and turn on the light over here. He'll be like, lights needs to turn off. It's a whole new spin on Resident Evil for sure. But yeah, it's gnarly. It's cool.
Interesting. Like Zombies meets The Overlook, where you're stuck in a loop and you just can't stop Lloyd serving you whiskeys at the bar.
I played this game Until Dawn. You guys know that game?
Yeah.
That game scared me so much. But I also played it post-COVID. I have this theory that like basically we all hit this stress threshold. Like I used to be into scary movies, but now I'm like, if I'm watching a sporting event, I like can't handle the stress of like one of these teams is gonna lose. Like, it's just like my thresholds are way different than they used to be.
It's just not fair.
He doesn't deserve that. He's trying his best. So like I got like halfway through that game and then ended up like I think going on the wiki for it and just being like, oh, these otherworldly creatures show. That's fine. I don't need to see that. That'll spook me out.
That's exactly what happened to me in The Last of Us 2. I can't think of a worse time for that game to have released than during a pandemic. This is not what I want to escape into. I played it, but I was like, man, this is just a little too close to home, and just put it away and kind of never returned. And then I did the thing where I just watched the game on YouTube instead.
Maybe it's some AAA games or some open world games where like it's almost like the narrative is too good and you're like, I just want to hear the story. Is that cool?
You know, it's so interesting. I'm a AAA narrative game guy. Like that's my jam. But I do think the thing that happens, especially in the middles of those games, you have to accept just being in the experience. And sometimes the experience is boring. Sometimes you're just walking around and crafting. Uncharted would be an example too, where those action sequences are so compelling. And then you're like, wait, now I just have to look for tape and some bottles. And like, I think the busier I get in life, the older I get, the more like I have less patience for those boring stretches.
Well, some people are like cultivating that. I mean, people go back through doing a Red Dead playthrough with like just knives or whatever. And they're like, only things I can craft. Like I'm getting back to nature.
Man, I can't believe you both didn't play through Last of Us 2. You both pieced out halfway through that game.
I YouTubed it. I don't know. I wonder, I bet there's like metrics of like the point that people did that at.
That specific game, I bet you there's a couple different points. There's the one thing that Ellie does to the pregnant lady, which is insane. During COVID, I went the other way. We were in this kind of maybe about to be post-apocalyptic world and none of us knew. And I was like, you know what? At least in this reality, I can control it. I felt like I had more agency. I found myself playing that game a lot during COVID.
Yeah, you could at least like step outside in the world of The Last of Us 2. So Matt, hop in, get in, everybody. We're going into the time machine. Hitting the ignition.
Oh, cool. You didn't give me a chance to buckle up, man.
My bad. Give us as many details as possible, but I want you to tell me, what is your earliest gaming memory? Really set the stage for me. And if not your earliest, maybe your fondest.
I can remember specifically going to Toys R Us to drop the $75 necessary to get Street Fighter 2 Turbo for SNES. And I remember like you got the ticket out of the thing and then you took it to the cage and it was a whole deal. That was like a combination of resources for me and my brother to like save up for that thing. And then he just absolutely wrecked me at that game every single time he played. I was definitely like little brother syndrome where it was like half the time was just like, do you want to watch me play? And I'm like, sure, I'm on the team. And I was the Ken to his Ryu, which felt a little bit like a Pepsi Coke situation, just like a lot of that vibe in general. But I can remember sort of that excitement and that moment. It felt like a golden ticket, you know what I mean? Like that Toys R Us cage and taking it over there. Like, that's right. It's happening.
Let's talk about the cage for a second, because I feel like that's a part of the transaction that a lot of people tend to forget about. Sometimes I feel like it wasn't at every Toys R Us, because some people look at me like I'm crazy when I talk about that little corner cage / dungeon where you give the person your golden ticket and then they go back into the warehouse. Yeah, they're like the Resident Evil 9 zombies, like game.
Was that not how it worked everywhere? There were some places with just shelves where you could just cop?
They had empty boxes sometimes, right? You could grab the empty box and take it up. But the thing you said that I think is so funny is that you had the ticket, and I think we all remember the ticket. You walking through the store, probably making a couple extra laps before going to the cage, just so everyone, all the other kids,
yeah,
this thing is hot. This thing's burning burning the hole in my pocket.
Or just, is it hot in here? Just
just gotta,
Crazy.
man.
It's funny, like when the PS5 dropped, they were doing drops like the same way they do sneaker drops and stuff, and everybody had like stock alerts on their browser extensions and stuff. I got deep into that for no reason. It just became like a hobby, like acquiring PS5s for my homies. That is the closest I felt to that moment of like the golden ticket. I remember Lizzie being at one point, my wife being like, "Why are there 4 PlayStations and 2 Xboxes in the front room?" I mean, it's some transactions I'm doing, and I would like everyone to know there was no upcharge. It was a service to the community. Probably either says something not great about my personality or the console or both. But my favorite PS5 game I've played to this day was acquiring PS5s.
I'm on record, but I think the games on the PS5 have been lackluster.
Yeah, I'm using my PS5 controller to play Mario Golf as soon as it's called. They're talking about the next GTA as maybe the PS6 launch title. We're over this already? Okay.
I think it's coming out this year. It's already been delayed. Now it's October. I think we're going to get it.
I do think it will release on PS5, and it will still push a bunch of PS6 units when it releases as a launch title, up-resed with like, you know, all the content from the PS5 version or something.
The other rumor is that not to get too deep in the weeds on this, but then that's what all the like GTA RP stuff is going to turn into.
You were telling me about that the other day. I was just like, what?
So I don't know enough about this, thankfully, because my obsessive personality would dive too deep into it. Apparently, GTA RP is GTA roleplay. And you know how most online play is just insanity going on, right? And chases and stuff. And so there were people that were like, I want to be a cop and like pull over the other players, which is like, all right. And then from there came, that's too high stakes. I want to be a paramedic. And from there, literally now, there are Twitch streamers, or I don't know, whatever more current reference that makes me sound less old. There are streamers literally working at like the burger place inside GTA, and that is like their life. And they're making actual bank in real life flipping fake burgers. And apparently with GTA 6, some people feel like it's like the beginning of straight up the Matrix in terms of just like, you could just live in there and it'll be fine maybe.
If I'm understanding this correctly, GTA, the series that had moms everywhere, like burning down GameStops, is now The Sims and everyone's just doing regular jobs.
Yeah. There is definitely that level to it, and some people think it will be the entry point to like an entire digital virtual ecosystem that some people just straight up live inside.
I mean, if we're going to do this, we should at least make that dude flipping burgers, the action of the flip. Maybe it generates electricity or something. We're on a pro video game podcast, so I'm not like anti video games here, but like if we're all just going to like exist in a video game without discovering a lost civilization or infiltrating a terrorist compound for fun, let's just make it do something good.
You're saying the actual physical mechanic of flipping the burger.
If we're all just going to exist,
farming,
and it's basically this, like, let's have some positive output into the world.
If and when,
even in the Matrix, they were batteries, right?
Yeah. I don't want to get dark, but I mean, yeah, that's basically.
Am I Team Machines? Is this what's happening?
TDK.
I think you're like, you know what might be a good idea, guys, is to harvest our bodies for energy.
I totally said that. Holy shit!
Ray, your
I see how they got
a little
there.
Intense, man. I don't know.
Listen, baby steps. I see how they got there. Might
It'd
as well
be super chill if.
Yeah. or not. Like, no worries if you guys aren't up for it. That's how cults are formed.
I'm playing GTA 6 and I'm still going for those 5 stars. Michelin.
Oh. He thought of that joke. We're 30 minutes into recording. He thought of that joke, I'm going to say 21 minutes in, and just been like the 9-minute drum roll in Ray's head leading.
Yeah. I was like, oh, is now the time? Okay, now, go.
That's so funny.
I'm going to say nailed it. Worth the wait.
Ray is already following traffic laws in GTA, so he's only one step away from what we're talking about.
I play the game as a law-abiding citizen. My foot's halfway in the door, dude. I'm basically driving to work when I play GTA.
Imagine there being an option when you're like faced with a mission of like, hey guys, we shouldn't do this.
Yeah,
okay?
totally.
Voice of reason.
Matt's gonna play GTA 6 to be a guy on a Zoom call while playing Mario Golf.
100% do that. Well, when I think about it, like, if someone is gonna like release a mediocre sitcom that only plays within the movie theater inside GTA, I'll do pretty much anything for money. So sign me up.
That's hilarious.
It's like the people who play Red Dead and just sit there playing poker.
I don't hate
idiots.
That part's kind of fun. It's just fun to dominate in poker, and then to do it whilst wearing a hat and a duster just feels really good, man.
TDK, that's all available to you, man.
To dominate in poker wearing a hat and a duster.
Yes, absolutely. I want that
with
for
like
you in real
a
life.
Saloon girl like walking through the door. Like, where can I do that?
That just sounds like a fun themed birthday party to me. If Ray was a real friend, he'd make it happen for you.
Challenge accepted. I want us to stay here in that time machine, and I like asking this question. I want to know what the gaming setup for your childhood looked like. Where was the console situated? Where in that room was it? And what games were in regular rotation? All that.
It was a single mom household, getting a master's degree, PhD, and also had a job. And it was me and my
Shout
brother.
out mom.
So, yeah, man. And so there was a lot of fend for yourself time. We weren't so much the kids going off the BMX jumps, you know, we were more the kids in the basement just crushing it in the video game life. In its greatest form, downstairs was the PlayStation, the Nintendo 64, and the mini fridge full of soda. Really a fantastic time.
Are we talking single mom off-brand Shasta Cola?
Shasta, shout out. You are from where I'm from.
Absolutely. My mom, too. We're not getting Pepsi. Give me a Shasta Cola.
Black cherry slapped pretty hard, if memory serves. And then my buddy Frank, I would go over to his house after school. Shout out Frank. That was where we would mostly play Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, or All-Star Baseball 2000. And his mom, her goldfish budget alone must have been, like, looking back, just insane. Because like a teenage boy crushes so much after school stuff. We each had an entire to ourselves goldfish bag. That's not healthy, let alone financially sustainable. I hope she circled back with my mom with some kind of bill, because my God, that was a sweet life, man. I mean, those are the days. I'm not going to say I wouldn't want my wife to hear that I've never been that happy again, but I don't know how much happier I've been. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, is Goldfish at that age the perfect video game snack? Because you kind of get that Cheeto satisfaction without ruining your controllers.
Clean. You stay clean, man.
It's clean. Yeah.
I like the thought process for sure. I wasn't a Goldfish kid. What achieved the same effect in my household? Maybe a little crumblier, perhaps. But the trade-off for flavor, I think, was worth it. Give me a Ritz cracker with a gaming sesh.
I mean, not to turn this into a snack pod, but again, TDK, you're from where I'm from. Tim's Cascade jalapeno chips.
Absolutely the greatest chip of all time. The
Not
reason
close.
Not even close, I'm with you. It's basically kettle cooked chips, you know, the extra crunchy, the maybe a little thicker. However, the jalapeno flavor, not too spicy, but spicy enough that your friends wouldn't steal them. Good times. I'm 100% with you. But I really got into them because you get a bag of Doritos and the cute girls on the bus are going to steal those Doritos. And you're not going to be able to say no because they're the cute girls on the bus. That's right. However, you get Tim's Cascades jalapeno flavor. Everyone's like, gross. No thanks.
They knew you were not to be trifled with. They knew you were a powerful man. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if that translated into their affection for me. I don't think it did based on the track record, but who knows?
I'm just going to say, if female affection was at all correlated to snacks, I would have done much better. So, yeah,
same.
That probably wasn't.
I often and always invite the opportunity to bring snacks into the fold because I think they go hand in hand with gaming. It's like a big part of it.
You can tell where you're gaming by what you're eating, right? So like I can picture the basement with the goldfish. I could picture Ray apparently at his grandma's house eating Ritz crackers.
Yeah, just a dry Ritz. That sounds like really
gross, right? Dry Ritz crackers.
That's cool. And like a hot tea, like a nice hot tea.
Some chamomile, something just to wind down after school.
DoPLgang in the comments. One's for Ritz cracker, two's for no Ritz crackers.
Yeah, smash that like button if you like just a plain cracker.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Who's with me? Where's my after school gang? Who loves saltines?
I hate you.
We gotta pause that.
Look, man.
We have ever laughed so hard on the podcast.
They are not plain saltines. I don't care what you guys say. Ritz crackers.
Fine, yeah.
They've got a certain je ne sais quoi.
Craziest video game I ever played was eating 4 saltines at once.
I'm gonna stick by it. I'm gonna stick by it, and I'm gonna let the comments and our listeners give us their
it's for sure gonna play out in your favor.
Moving on.
You sure?
I would really, really appreciate if we moved on, guys. You guys, just leave me alone. So actually, Matt, I do want to touch on this because in the questionnaire, you really hit on something that was like very fascinating here. I want you to talk about this JV sport team or something that you were talking about.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I unlocked this strange memory that I had, which was like, I was super into sports as a kid. I'm 5'6" now, and I have been much shorter than that for most of my life. Especially basketball, which I loved, was just not an option for me. It was a cool school where I like wasn't cliquey in that way. And I have this vivid memory in junior high of like having whatever the NBA 2K game was at that time. And the nerdiest take it to my grave shit that I'm for some reason saying out loud. Literally like taking our school mascot was the Bears, and so taking the Vancouver Grizzlies at the time and then renaming the players like the names of the players on the team and then like playing a season.
The team in your high school.
Yes, literally. So like my friends' names. What is like in retrospect, I wouldn't say like sad, but like, oh, come on, bud, was like I didn't put myself on the team. I was like,
no.
It's a video game, bro. You could have been the point guard. I was like,
totally.
No. This is a simulation of reality. We can't have the whimsy of me dunking a basketball. That's absurd. And then I watched this movie. I think it was called Mumford. It was just some random movie. The premise of the movie, this guy is a therapist in this town. It turns out he's not a trained therapist, but the whole point is like connecting with people, and like he just has a gift at actually talking to people despite his checkered past himself. But one of the people he's talking to is this guy who has recurring fantasies in which he is another person. I remember watching this movie at that age, and the guy goes, I mean, I'd just like to get the guy to the point where he's in his own fantasies. And that clicked for me in a way. And I was like, I want to put myself in this game right now. I did it, and it was like oddly cathartic. I don't know if that was pure chance or if that was like everything kind of colliding into this one significant little choice. But I remember that being a big deal. Just being like, fuck it, I'm going to be in this game now.
I don't know if you realized this at the time or you only realize it looking back, right? Like for me, I used to play NFL 2K or whatever the MLB version of the game I was playing at the time. But I would spend so much time designing the uniforms and naming the team. And like you said, naming the players. Or even like Tony Hawk 2, I'd be designing the skate park, the flow. At the time, I just spent way more time doing that than I did at the game. I didn't think too much about it. But in hindsight, I look back and I'm very into design, even like interior design and the choices I make in my life. And I think growing up as like dudes in the woods, it's not cool to be into interior design, couches and architecture and clothes and stuff. And then that was kind of my way of making choices and personalizing those things. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, they always say like your ideal career is the thing you can look back on what you were doing when your parents told you it was time for dinner. That sounds like that was that for you, for sure.
My kid's going to be an archaeologist, 100%.
There you go, a BMXing archaeologist.
Yeah.
Ideally like just like a sick kind of a turn that digs up a dinosaur bone.
Yeah. Someone's got to make that cartoon. That is a cartoon waiting to happen.
It's going to premiere inside Grand Theft Auto 6.
Look out for BM Rex on GTA 6.
Come on. So good.
That's good. Quick.
I was just waiting. I was like, man, I hope they tie in bicycles with dinosaurs so I can use this joke that I've had ready for the past 25 minutes.
It's amazing how you got it there.
BM Rex, I mean, sign me up. You know, let's get some of our friends. Like Brandon could write it. Jerry could draw it.
Just skipping over our writer guest.
No. Sorry. This is new. This is still new, Matt. I don't know you. Brandon writes animation.
We had like several shared interests. I didn't get the gig. It's not a big deal. I have it all the time. It's about getting back up. I deserve it.
did look
you know, I phoned in
actually
that
a
meeting
fan of a
earlier
lot of
today.
your work.
This is karma. This is karma for that.
That sucks.
I mean,
I'm so
No, I was there for the creation of the idea, and I'm already out. Those are the breaks. It's Hollywood.
It's fine.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
It's gonna have to be, isn't it?
We all love Donkey Kong Country, but talk to us about your specific love for it.
I remember the Nintendo Power that was really gassing it up. It felt like a real watershed moment. And it was like really clean and smooth to play. Just everything like felt good and was intuitive and easy and just very, very fun. Because I've been going back through all these emulators now. Like I was just playing like Crash Bandicoot Warped. I really can't think of a side scroller that felt just as easy to just like plug and play and have fun. You could take like your grandmother right now who's never played a video game and put her in front of Donkey Kong Country and she would have a great time. These games that just like low barrier to entry, and when so many things are about planned obsolescence or you get through it and then you have to pay for the DLC or it's about getting the next one, that was just like built to be good and to last.
I learned recently that a lot of the biggest and best, most banger SNES games were the result of the Nintendo 64 being delayed as long as it was. PlayStation was out, N64 was still a while away. And so they hired Rare to, do something that was state of the art for the console. And they came up with Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, Mario RPG. All these games came out as a result.
I definitely had a PlayStation after a Nintendo 64, though. I don't know why.
That was actually my personal trajectory, too.
I mean, also, if you think about it, it's kind of a maturity thing. Not that you're immature if you play Nintendo. I think ultimately people come back around to Nintendo, and that's the one that they settle on as adults. However, you think about yourself in grade school versus middle school. Middle school is real PlayStation vibes, right? Tony Hawk and GTA and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good point you made for sure. Because, I think I got an N64 in 96. I don't know what grade I was in, maybe middle school, 6th grade, something like that. And that was okay to still be playing. But around high school, when people, like you said, are jumping onto Tony Hawk, I'm like, dude, I got to get on board.
Mario occupies the same space in our hearts that like Mickey and Bart do. And it's
100%.
Like, you knew Mario when you were a little kid. And so there's like a security blanket aspect to that. So it's always going to feel a little bit like that versus like you're listening to the Ace of Spades and doing 720s. Like, it's a different vibe.
It's not the warm blanket that, you might have
grown up with. I don't need a blanket. I eat spicy potato chip.
I think that hit it right on the nose. I definitely veered off of Nintendo for a little bit. As an adult, I've come back around because it's just timeless. It's classic. It's Disney. It's Mickey.
I think cynics sometimes attribute this sort of like adult bros into gaming as like this like infantilization thing. I actually think it's a much healthier manifestation of like to be a teenage boy is to feel like being honest about the things you like is embarrassing in some ways. We had some parent friends over the other day and they were telling some story. They saw some like to-do list of their nephews who was a teenager. Items 1, 2, and 3 were like, do this, this. And item 4 was be casual. It was like, obviously hilarious, but like also just like so fucking tragic that like, I was like, still now in 2026, you like have to kind of not give a shit. Like that's like the message. To me, that's such a connection to like, oh yeah, Mario's cool, I guess. Now as an adult, you're like, fuck that. Like, that's super fun. I get to show my kid. Like, I'm not embarrassed about who I am or the things I'm into, but
I wish teenage me would have got that memo.
That reminds me of a time when like me and my brother hanging out in the bedroom, he made like as a teenager, one of the boldest, most bravest statements he could have made in that time, opened the floodgates for me to also share those sentiments is, like Pikachu's kind of cute. And I was like,
wow.
yeah.
The masculinity of your brother, like the internal security.
Yeah. I remember just being like, yeah. Like, yeah, I think so too.
And even in that moment, you're like, is my brother luring me out into the middle of the lake that's not actually frozen?
Yeah. Just like, yeah, he's
said Pikachu's cute, I got you.
Jump, beat him up. Being a kid is just weird, man. I don't know.
Dude, that's part of what was so daunting to me about that kid's to-do list. I have a 7-year-old daughter, but I have a 3-year-old son. And like with my daughter, I'm like, Lizzie's got it. when things are hard. She knows what she's doing. But like there's certain things that like an experience of growing up as a boy is like I'm gonna have to talk to him about it. And that sort of stuff is so daunting to me. That stuff that's like, yeah, you're just gonna feel embarrassed and sad and lost sometimes. And you won't listen to me even if I give you advice. So I'm just gonna say I'm right here rooting for you. It's so crazy.
You're ahead of me with the 7-year-old, but I have a 5-year-old boy. I think about what you just said all the time. And ultimately where I always come back to is I think I'm just going to try and be who I want him to be. I'm as openly earnest and enthusiastic about everything in front of him as I can be. And I know that's not going to make him a cool teenager. However, I think it'll make him an interesting adult. I'm trying to be like the version of myself that I want him to emulate. How much of it do you think of as example?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. And I think that especially as they get older, like they're going to actively resist anything that they can clock as you trying to teach them something. So
totally,
even if in the moment it's like, look how lame dad's being, like later it'll be like, maybe that was not lame. Before our first kid was born, my stock icebreaker whenever I was around like an old and I didn't know, any kind of person that I was just like, you're an adult and I have to fill 5 minutes. It was, do you have any parenting advice? One of the pieces of advice that stuck with me was the only thing you'll ever be able to control is whether or not your kids feel like they can talk to you. Not even whether or not they do it, just if they feel like they can. I literally say that to Eleanor all the time. I'm like, your feelings are never going to scare me. Like you can always say whatever. But what's clicked for me recently is like telling her, be a friend that people feel like they can always talk to. And that is like a piece of advice that I think will sort of cascade into that kind of openness and security with that kind of simple goal.
You're not thinking of it like, what do I say to them to get them to talk to me? You're thinking of it as, what do I say to them to be somebody that other people will talk to? Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I think now is as good a time as ever to call it. But before we go, Matt, is there anything you'd like to shout out? Any projects you're working on? Anything that you've worked on in the past that you're proud of that maybe we can all tune into?
Sure, yeah. Check out Lady Dynamite on Netflix if anybody ever missed that show, starring Maria Bamford. More than anything, like I've done a lot of things since then and a lot of things I'm proud of and worked with a lot of great people. But it was just like start to finish a very fun work experience. I learned a lot about how to do the job. My bosses on that show were very cool. Just a lot of talented people in the room. So just one of those experiences that you look back on and you're like, I'm proud to be associated with that. And I got a lot out of it.
It's always a good feeling to be on a good team, get on Zoom calls with awesome folk and feel like you're learning some stuff.
Like this team right here, you know, the BM Rex team. No one else.
Nice try, Matt.
I'm down, Matt. This is what I was going to say is I think Matt's got my number when it comes to like the funny bone because I'm really trying to keep it together on this pod. I wouldn't mind hitting Matt with some rapid fires of our hotly contested questions over the years on the pod. You can do a one-word answer if you want. You can elaborate if you want, but we need the context. We need to know. The people
in blind right now.
Sega or Nintendo?
Nintendo all day. I wasn't a Sega kid. It was that Echo the Dolphin experience. As soon as we're done, I'm going to hop on Echo the Dolphin and like get to at least the second board and see what's going on there. Because truly, that was my Sega experience and it ruined it for me.
Pizza Hut or Round Table?
It was Pizza Hut for me. We didn't have Round Table. Pizza Hut back in the day with the pitchers of soda, dude, you put your 75 cents in the slider thing and you get the 6 sticker skull tattoo.
Yeah. Damn, I remember it came in like the foldable cardboard to keep it nice and crisp. Yeah.
Plus, shout out to the Book It program and the personal pan pizzas.
Big time.
We had a family friend who worked at a Pizza Hut. They lived in Massachusetts, thank God. Otherwise, I would have been 300 pounds. But she would come back and just like give us free personal pan pizzas. And there's really nothing better than that.
Okay, I got a new one since our friend was on the pod. Beatles or Stones?
I gotta go Stones. The Beatles are kind of obviously the top of the game that they were in. But that game is kind of a direct line of like Britpop and skiffle and a few other things that were like kind of straight evolution, whereas the Stones
they're just a blues cover band.
Blues influences.
It's 100% copying.
Would not have crossed over into pop were it not for their willingness to be influenced by that, and that is 100%. Problematic in some ways, frankly. And they shouldn't be getting only credit for that. The history of rock and roll is arguably more altered by the presence of the Rolling Stones than the Beatles. titles. Not to say that they're better, but that they were bringing a different flavor.
Also, they're just mega fans of like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and they just want to do that.
Last question. It came up in my head right now, and I thought it'd be a fun one. We talked about the zombies in Resident Evil 9 and how they carry on these attributes even post-life. If you were a Resident Evil 9 zombie, what attribute would you still carry on into the afterworld? What would your zombie be doing?
Oh, dude, I would love to be a zombie stand-up comedian at the mic. And, you know, they say, like, if you did well, you killed that night. So, like, literally making people laugh until they die and then going and eating them and then going back up when you need to feed again. That feels good.
That's great. Ray, what would you be?
More Ritz crackers.
That's right, kids. It's the coolest snack there is. Plain crackers.
The Doppel Podcast brought to you by the smooth, crisp, delicious taste of Ritz crackers.
Are Pop-Tarts too exciting? Try plain crackers.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks, Matt. We had an awesome time with you, Matt. Thank you for finally making it to the podcast. I've been trying to get you on here. All right, Matt. Awesome hang with you as always. TDK, any last words before we say goodbye?
No, thanks for coming on, Matt. That was really fun. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Appreciate you.
Great. I'm glad I finally made it happen.
Can't wait to see what you do with the BMX.
BMX.
No.
And I know I'm not part of it.
He's not part of it. And that's that, all right?
Not everybody. He's not part of it. All right.
All right, DoPLgang. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you at the next one. Peace out. Hey, everybody. It's Ray here. Just wanted to thank you for tuning into the Dire Pass Level Podcast. If you want to hang out and join us for the next episode, make sure to like and subscribe. That way you're notified when our next episode releases. If you really, really, really liked it, you'd do us a solid if you left us a review. Reviews are a great way to spread the word about our podcast, and the more gamers to share these stories with, the better. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. There we go.